And good morning. I'm in Nijmegen at the Stevenskerk, the most famous church of Nijmegen. It's from the Middle Ages. It's in the Gothic style. It's actually from the 15th century. And I'm going to continue my little tour from here. Here we are at the old city wall, also medieval. And this little path, it goes uphill. I just walk downhill towards the river here, and it's part of the old city fortification. So the city is built on a hill, and that hill is a glacial ridge. This is like the spot right here, how far the glaciers in the Ice Age extended south. And so this is also why the river runs where it runs today. And I'm going there next to the river, the Waal. This is the Waal River. And, this is when Nijmegen was established in the year 5 or 6 or 9, depending what source you're reading. But it was within the first 10 years of our current era. This was the northern border of the Roman Empire. The river that you see here is the Waal River, and it is a major branch of the Rhine River. And the Rhine River was traditionally the border of the Roman Empire. So I am standing on the south side of the Waal River, and this, at that time, in the 1st century, it belonged to the Roman Empire. On the other side, you see the bridge here. On the other side, the north side of the river, was occupied by Germanic peoples. And according to the Romans, these were barbarian people, non-civilized people, where the Romans themselves considered themselves civilized. So this was the edge of the Roman Empire. Later the Romans extended a bit further forward, but they never managed to get into Germany proper, what is today Germany, the other side of the Rhine. So we are at the foot of the Volkl cloister or fort from the 12th century. It was built in 1155. And it's quite a lot of stairs. I need to kind of catch my breath before I climbed up all the way from river level to here, and I need to have, there's another 3 steps of stairs to get to this thing on top of the Glacial Ridge that formed here at the end of the. Made it all the way up the steps, and apparently a big group of German tourists entering, and I'm gonna wait until they're out again, and I will also enter this chapel on top of the Volkov 12th century chapel. I'll show you, I'll walk to the edge and I'll show you the view down towards the river. So, and this the backside of the Volkov chapel. Okay. This is a ruin. It belongs to the Volkenhof, the 12th century building complex on the edge of Nijmegen. And, I'm just gonna walk in there for a second. get out of get out of the way. How do I get out of the way? So it's old meets new in a way, huh? Medieval building with a code. I don't have my cell phone with me. It actually doesn't work. My cell phone in the Netherlands. So yeah. I also wanted to show you this building that's behind it here. It's, let's see if I can get it. Yeah, right there. It's also part of the old city wall. I think you can kind of see it. Maybe the sun is hitting it. I'm standing in front of a house. It's a medieval house. It's in Nijmegen, and it was the place where the brothers Limburg used to live. Famous artists of the late Middle Ages in the Netherlands. They came from the city of Nijmegen, where I'm at. Unfortunately, even though the door is open, the museum, or it's not really a museum, but they have restored, I believe, the basement in their original state, and this is where the brothers of Limburg worked. One interesting thing for you guys about the brothers of Limburg is that if you take art history 2, which start at the beginning of the 15th century, in the year 1400, the first image you see in your textbook is a work by the brothers van Limburg. It is a very famous work, and they made it on commission for a French royal. They made a series of 12 months, and they illustrated each month. And I'm going to take the computer and I'll show you. At least I can't take you inside. I wanted to go inside, but here you see like some of the works they created, and so that you can also find in the beginning of the textbook. Their uncle is called Jan Maalwaal, and he is one of the first important Dutch artists in art history, known by name, that is. And so he was slightly older, 14th century, late 14th century. He also came from this town. He was their uncle, Jan Maalwaal. And they all worked in France. Coming out of the...
There's another
I'll show them.
brother coming out.
Thank you. Okay, tot zo. Sitting here on a little pillar in front of the Volkov Museum in Nijmegen. It's a museum that has a lot of Nijmegen history, the art history of Nijmegen, and other history as well. Nijmegen is a Roman city. And I'm sitting in front of a sculpture by a certain Fuchs. I've never heard of him. But anyway, it's a pillar, and it's based, the design is based on a traditional Roman pillar dedicated to the gods. So this museum is open, and I think we're going to go in. All right, I'll turn the camera back on when we're inside. We just walked inside the museum, and there's a couple of sculptures, Roman sculptures, portraits, busts. They're copies of Roman originals, but these are people that have been important to the city of Nijmegen. This here is Sabina. I think she's a goddess. Oh no, the wife of Emperor Hadrianus. This is Hadrianus. A famous one, Plotina, Empress. Trajanus. Copies, like I said, of Roman originals. People that have been important for the history of this city in Nijmegen. Nijmegen was founded, this is Marciana, by the way. Also Empress in the 2nd century of our current era. Nijmegen was founded as an outpost of the Roman Empire. The Romans, by the way, they left this area in the 2nd century. I've walked into the museum proper now, the first floor. I was at the little children's section earlier, where, something about the Roman periods when Nijmegen first appeared. So here's the first piece when you walk in this hall. It's this really gorgeous medieval sculpture of Saint Gregory. This sculpture was part of the early 16th century, built around 1500 church in Nijmegen. And, it was destroyed during the Second World War and found in the rubble, and now it's here in the museum in the Volkov. The sculptor is not known by name. I'll show some other things in this room. It's a gorgeous room. It really is beautiful. This is a relief, altar, and here's a sculpture, a wooden sculpture. Beautiful sculpture, Saint Sebastian. And the legend of Saint Sebastian, it's a famous legend. He was pierced by arrows. It's a martyr. Sculptures in the northern part of Europe during the medieval period are typically out of wood, whereas in Italy they were using stone or marble sculptures. And wood is much more expressive, and it's a characteristic of northern sculpture in the medieval period, the expressiveness compared to the formal qualities of Italian and French sculpture. There's paintings in this hall too, a couple. Here's one from the late 15th century. It's also St. Gregory. I guess maybe he was the patron saint of this city, but there's that. I'll show you one more. A triptych. This is what you call a triptych. It has like two doors on each end, and they fold close. And behind the two side panels, there would then be yet another painting. Of course, I'm in the museum, I'm not allowed to touch it, I can't see it, but this is Christ on the cross, obviously. Okay, let me dig a little deeper in the museum, see what else I can find. This section of the museum has newer works. I see things from the 19th century. Here's a portrait that is interesting, I guess. It's a mother with her son. I have a hard time getting this straight onto the picture. There we go. There we go. There. So the two of them. Well, that's an all right painting, but it's not like it's not any Da Vinci or anything. But it's interesting because who are being seen here is Maria Kramer and her son Lambertus van den Berg. It so happens that my name is Lambertus and my wife's name is Maria. So there. Gosh, there's all kinds of like. There's Maria, by the way. And here's another Maria, which is of course the Virgin Mary, but in Dutch the name Mary is Maria. So this is a work also from the 19th century, I think. Was it earlier? Oh, much earlier. 17th century. Yeah, that had to be. The crowning of Mary. This is a curious painting, isn't it? Look at all those people, portraits. This is a political scene, and there was a treaty signed of peace between France and Spain. And, this was important in Dutch history. So all these people are individuals. Let me walk up closer, and you can see strangely painted, a very strange painting. See, they're just all stacked almost, as if they're like wooden puppets. But every single person is a specific portrait of a politician. So I'm still in the museum. I'm back in a different Roman section, and this is the most famous work that they have. in the museum, it is a pillar dedicated to the gods. And it was the same images are on here as in that modern work that you saw outside when I introduced this museum, which was based on this pillar. So originally this was probably, I don't know, 10 meters, something like that, 30 feet tall. We're still in the Volkov Museum. Now, I wouldn't call this art. Can you see it? It's a skeleton of a woman. Gee. There. From the 4th century, Roman, during Roman times. Little statuettes of Roman gods that have been dug up in the area here. Note these two little guys in the center. That's Hercules. And what's kind of interesting, let me get a little closer. This one Hercules, right here. Oh, now getting into the center, he's peeing. He's holding his little, you know what. Cool, huh? And here are the goddesses. We are here in the craft section. And here you see a silver owl modeled over a coconut. And it's local, so I don't know where they got the coconut from. There's the owl. There's certainly no coconuts growing in where I am right now. It's actually a little cold. It's May, what is it? May 3rd? No? 4th? Something like that. Okay.